A little girl, born of the earth, dreamt of swimming with whales. She admired the way they moved swiftly through the vast, tumultuous ocean, steadfast in serenity and fortitude, maintaining untouchable familial bonds. Believing they were carriers of wisdom, strength, and love, in times of great stress and sadness, she'd close her eyes and imagine she was at sea, floating quietly on her back. In these transformative moments of imagining, she could feel kelp tickling her toes and smell the fresh salt awakening her senses. She knew the whales were not far off and that they'd come to soothe her out of her anxiety. As she got older, the girl developed an unbearable ache to dwell in the ocean with the whales. She walked among others as not but a shell of herself, while her soul resided in the sea. It felt unfair that she was forced to live in a concrete world away from the sense of peace she found among the whales. She hated the noise and the smells of bustling Seattle streets, but could not escape them. Attending school like all the other children, she knew one day she'd get a job like her parents had, one which paid bills but was otherwise inconsequential, participating in busy modernity, no matter how overwhelming and heartless it was. She saw around her that people were obsessed with money and that they had to be in order to survive. She noticed that in scraping together an income, parents spent less time with their children. Her own father was hardly ever at home, and her mother worked even harder elsewhere. Why is this the way of life? She often asked herself. Why must we pay our way through existence? Why do some people have enormous houses while others sleep in boxes on the sidewalk, and why are we too busy to love each other? The realization that the life ahead of her was sure to be spent enslaved by the economy made her feel tired and disenchanted by the world. She longed to live a quiet life in the sea, among the wise ones who were not burdened by the concept of wealth and who were allowed to live for the sake of love and connection. She longed to be allowed an existence in which she could create and bond with those around her. She yearned for a peaceful earth, free of inequality and the constant struggle for survival. Each week, as the girl waited for a bag of mystery groceries at the food bank, she knew that while her family did not have much, there were others in straits more dire. Joe, who slept in her apartment lobby, was one such person. She wished to invite him to live with her because he was always kind but often very sad. He smiled as she greeted him most days, but at times he only cried the most lonesome tears she'd seen. It hollowed her heart to see that he had not even a mother or father to cradle him to sleep, and she hated the men in suits who walked by him scoffing at his presence. Joe was a descendant of people who'd been exiled from Seattle long ago. When she spoke with Joe, the little girl could see the pain in his eyes, mirrors of settlers' attempts to extinguish his family and culture. She often wondered whether he was her closest contact to the whales, whom she so deeply admired. Lost and terrified by the injustice around her, it all became too much for the little girl as the years dragged on. The city got louder, sidewalks more densely populated with souls displaced by technology and economic boom. She'd long been hearing of forests burning, children starving, conquests of genocide, and the death of innocents. She looked around her and saw that as buildings grew taller, the spirit of the earth became buried more deeply, trampled by soulless corporations and ambitious suits. If this is life, the girl cried to herself, I am done living. She shut her eyes and traveled in her heart beyond the pier, past the cargo ships, to the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and begged the whales for freedom. Please, she cried, I want to stay here with you. Life is ugly and mean on land. My heart is here, yet I am trapped in a steel jungle wrought with anger and greed. People are dying. Trees are burning. The world is on fire, and I don't want to live. What am I to do? Take me with you to the deep. Take me with you to truth and peace, to a place where love is the driving force. I beg of you, if you'll have me, or I may sink into this very earth, dying of despair." The girl's tears swirled around her, wrapping her essence in a salty, anguished plea. She dove deeper into the cold midnight water until she felt a placid presence hugging her spirit. She opened her eyes to see a carrier of wisdom, her savior. There he was, her guiding whale, grandfather of the sea. "Welcome home, little one. Feel the ocean wash away your tears and know that you are not alone. You are here with us always, a child of our Mother Earth. Look inward for love, for we never leave your heart. Anchor yourself in the sea, for here is your essence, but you must return to land because you have work to do. The people of the busy world have lost their way. Your brothers and sisters are burning. It is your job to join with others who seek peace and truth, and together you must bring the world back into balance. You're right. Life is noisy and greedy out there, mechanical and engulfed in flames, far from what it's meant to be. But if you leave this earth, who will help to restore balance, bringing life back into a quiet, honest, loving way? No, you must go back and be a guide, a bridge between the elders of the sea and the lost souls of the land. We are here, little one, and we know your heart is with us. Look to the stars and Grandmother Moon, and your path will be illuminated before you." The girl felt cradled, safe, and loved. She was pained by the thought of leaving Grandfather Whale, but she had been given a job of the utmost importance. With her offered purpose, she no longer felt lost. She no longer felt alone, for she had been assured of the constant presence of the spirit of the sea within her very own heart. It would be a long walk back to land, but her brothers and sisters were awaiting her return. She kissed Grandfather Whale and journeyed beneath the stars to begin her life's work as a vessel for truth and love.